Okay. I don't know if this is going to be a popular opinion or even a video. I loved what happened yesterday in the courtroom with Dr. Curry. She was beyond intelligent and also so cute. Couldn't stop looking at her. Beautiful and so smart. There's a few things with this whole diagnosing somebody in court that I don't know how I feel about it, but I still don't like Amber more than I don't like Evan. I am so glad that she finally said, I've been thinking this whole time that she has a histrionic and she is not a narcissist. So people be like, oh, she's such a narc. The difference with Amber and other people that I know with borderline is that, and that I know they're narcissistic, like my mother, for example, and other people that I know very, very well, is that Amber does feel guilt. I think Amber feels stressed. I think Amber feels fucked up. So that is just the opposite of a narc, you know? So just based on that and what the doctor was saying, it became to me like more obvious than ever that it is a fucking nightmare to be Amber Heard. That doesn't mean that she's gonna be excused for having this disorder that a lot of people know about, that we all know about it from a long time ago, but now it's like the thing. I remember in the 80s, everybody had ADD, including me. But I do have it. But in the 80s, if you were kind of jumpy and if you were really smart but kind of shy, you were autistic. If you were really jumpy, you couldn't stay still and your mind was very fast and you learn things very fast and you can't stop moving and whatever, you have ADD. Which a lot of it was bullshit because a lot of the kids didn't have that. My ex, the father of my children, not my borderline ex, because I have an ex that has what Amber has. That's what I feel like I can sit here and fucking talk about it. But I have another ex, which is the father of my children. That I'm not gonna talk shit about him, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that he was diagnosed with ADD when he was a kid in the 80s. And it was so misdiagnosed. It was actually, he doesn't have it. But because he was diagnosed with ADD, at the time it was called ADD, he got prescribed Adderall, which is like Ritalin, which is a stimulant, and it's an upper. And then he had a gigantic freaking addiction for like 10 years to stimulants and uppers. And Papa, surprise, he actually was never ADD. He never had ADD. So what I'm trying to say is like this shit changes. And what happened now is not what's going to happen in 20 years, even 10. So what I'm trying to say is that I love what happened in court yesterday. But there's a couple of things that are going to be a problem, especially in a lawsuit when somebody's so famous like Amber and Johnny. What I don't want, and I don't want this to become a stigma and well, let's just beat up people that have borderline, let's beat up people that do drugs, let's just beat up and judge people that self-harm. Just like we didn't want to do that with Johnny. We didn't want to, I mean, I never judge him, but we didn't want these people, the other side, to judge him for his drug use and his alcohol use and his childhood, and we didn't want them to judge Johnny from because of Johnny had a personality. Well, in the same token, we can't really judge everything Amber did based on the borderline and the histrionic personality disorders. What I'm trying to say is like, if we don't want them to use Johnny's flaws as excuses and reasons, and oh yeah, he beat it up because he's an alcoholic, blah 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 blah. We don't want them to use that. Then at the same time, I feel like I cannot use Amber's new diagnosis, as a weapon against her. Now, that said, her actions are diabolical. Her actions are Machiavellic. And her actions had nothing to do with borderline or histrionic. A little bit with histrionic, not as much as with borderline. The fact that she did things like putting the nail polish on the tissue and said it was blood. The fact that she pooped in his bed or got one of his friends to do it, which is the same thing than her doing it, that has nothing to do with her being borderline or having histrionic or any diagnosis. So I want to make that fucking clear, and this is my opinion. That as much as I do have, I feel bad for her. I do, and I'm just trying to be logical. At the same time, I am empathetic towards people that are sick. She's a very sick fucking person. But I'm not going to excuse her because of what she has. There's a lot of things the doctor was talking about that they were so spot on. It was fucking scary to even watch. Do you know what I mean? Do you agree with me? I was scared. It's like I would not want to be in Dr. Curry's couch in her office. She will figure me out, which whatever. I happen to love that. I happen to love to go therapy and then to get, I love it, to get dissected. But I'm fucking weird because I like that. Okay, the problem with this is that Amber was never seeking help. And so she did all this with the doctor and all this like tests because she was ordered to do them, because she's supposed to do them for the court. She's supposed to do them to look better, to not look combative, to not look like I don't want to do the test. So she did them to look okay and to look good on court. Well, the problem is that it fucking backfired on her because this doctor realized that she doesn't have PTSD but has something else. The problem with this whole thing, and I keep saying the word problem because it's a fucking problem, that I hope it doesn't really affect our side, Johnny's side. Hey, who's watching? I thought nobody was gonna watch at this time of the night, but I was just working during the day and watching the trial. And I'm not gonna be so stupid to get on the internet and do a live when everybody else is watching the trial, including me. So this is it. This is the time. So I'm talking about Amber and her not so new diagnosis of histrionic, which is what I've been saying this whole fucking time, and borderline. I told you guys, some people, that she is not a narcissist. Just because somebody manipulates you, because it's part of the borderline, because somebody plots against you and do something like that, it doesn't mean they're a narc. The difference is, hello, hey, what's up? Robert, what's up? We finally got to hang out at the same time. Hey, well, guess what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about yesterday. What is this? A ghost? The fuck is that? Next to mine. Oh, that's my candle. That looks so weird. Looks clear? Do I look okay? I'm exhausted. I hope I look okay. All right, for example, what I just did. What did I just did? I said, do I look okay? I hope I look okay. I'm obsessed with my looks? Not really. But if you don't know me, you can say, oh my God, look at this bitch. She's like so into her looks. She's so vain, her ego. You see how easy it is to judge people? Yes. Well, thank you. But I was making an example of how easy it could be to judge somebody. People use the term narcissist and egomaniac so fucking much as people in the 80s used the term ADD. I was telling this story about everybody during the 80s, the 1980s, everybody had ADD. In the 90s, everybody had depression, Prozac Nation, all those books, and grunge and all that type of music. In the 2000s, everybody had bipolar. And now everybody has borderline or narcissistic. And I'm not saying it's not true. What I'm saying is like they're gonna have to be careful from now on with the way they treat Amber in court. As much as I love what happened yesterday, I don't agree with a couple of things. The doctor, I know nobody else is gonna say it online, but I don't give a fuck. I never did and I never will care, really. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I told you that she was not a narc. I've been saying the same thing. The difference between a borderline person and a narcissistic person is the narc doesn't feel a damn fucking thing. They don't feel nothing. It's closer to psychopathy. The borderline person, like Amber, feels a lot. It's a nightmare to be in her fucking head. You guys listen to the audio. Imagine being inside that brain 24/7. So I keep saying that she's not a narcissist. I think Evan Roger Wood is a narcissist. That's a totally different fucking creature right there. The difference is that Amber does feel guilty. Amber gets stressed out. She gets distressed. She feels distressed. We know, we heard the fucking audios. Hey, we heard the audios. So she's not really a narc. I've been saying it for fucking ever. Just because somebody manipulates you and lies to you, that doesn't mean they're narcissistic. Yes, it will drive you crazy. The borderline will drive you crazy. But the thing with the borderline and the narcissistic, I'm trying to say, is that the narc doesn't feel any guilt. They don't fucking care. The borderline cares so fucking much because they don't want you to leave. They don't want to be abandoned. You guys watched the doctor yesterday. She explained it way better than I ever will. And that's the difference. So Amber goes in the category of borderline and histrionic because she feels so fucking much. She feels things that we don't get, that we're never gonna feel, that we're like, what the fuck? It will suck to be inside her brain, right? But she feels. She's actually hypersensitive. She feels more than a lot of other people. She feels more than JD. She feels wrong feelings, but feelings cannot really be wrong. If you just like, you're gonna really think about it and imagine it's not Amber Heard, imagine it's somebody in your family, right? The thing is, like, we're so attached to Johnny and to Amber because she fucked them up so much with her actions that we can't fucking see whatever is behind her fucking brain. They can tell us that she's schizophrenic and we're gonna be like, yes, she is. So you know what I mean? Like I don't want this thing to become a thing. Like, let's throw stones at people that have. Because she's smart. I will not be showing my feelings either. She's smart. The doctor said it right yesterday. The doctor said it yesterday. Amber is so sophisticated in her type of borderline, because there's people that have borderline and they're totally messy. They're a fucking mess. She's so sophisticated in her symptoms. She's capable of sitting there without making faces. She's feeling a lot of shit. I know she's feeling shit. Just because she's not making a face, it doesn't mean that she doesn't feel shit. She's an actress and whatever. Like, this is why she didn't want cameras in the courtroom, because she knew if there were cameras, there was maybe like a chance for her to like slip and start crying or start breaking shit. I don't know. I think that she does feel, but she's not going to show it. Because, well, what? She would. Yeah, there's no reason for her to show it. There's nothing to gain. Nothing to gain. She doesn't want us to think, oh my God, this crazy bitch. So she's not going to show it. She's not. I don't think she's going to show it even if she gets on the stand and she talks about herself. The problem with this, diagnosing a person in court. I mean, imagine if it was you know what I mean? Like, I know this is not going to be like popular, what I'm trying to say. But like I said, I don't fucking care because I never did. So I want to have like a conversation. I don't want to sit here and be like, what a bitch. What a cunt. I love that word, but I don't like saying it to people. But I love saying it to the air. She feels, dude, and she feels a lot. That's what it's a nightmare to be with somebody like her, because there's no way that you can please these people. Nothing that you do is gonna be enough. And I lived through this shit with an ex-boyfriend. Actually, name is Johnny. Funny enough. And don't call him John because he was Johnny. Anyway, you cannot please these people. Yes, she's smart. She's wickedly freaking smart. That's what I've been saying, that Evan is dumb and Amber is smart. I've been saying that for a whole year because I think Evan Richard Wood is a puppet. It's a puppet. She has no personality. She goes with the flow. I'm an activist. I'm gay. I'm straight. Whatever. Amber is smart. And now that the doctor said it in court, now we all can say it without feeling guilty about saying it. She's not stupid. So smart people are fucking dangerous. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's the how it's gonna be. Okay, going back to if she feels. Yes, she feels. She feels guilt. She feels doesn't want to be abandoned. That's what the whole thing about, like, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. It's not an act. If you listen to the doctor yesterday, and if you look it up online, or we're talking about it here, she really in that moment, she thinks that he's just gonna leave forever. That's why when Johnny Depp will say to her, dude, I'm just going to the next room. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be in the couch. I'm not leaving the fucking country. For her, it was impossible because they cannot understand being left alone. They just can't. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what she has, but I can see that it could be a fucking nightmare for the person who lives with them. And this can be your wife, your friend, your sister. Imagine if your mom or your father has this. It would be way worse to deal with it than just a girlfriend or a wife. So the thing is, like, the conversation that I kind of want to have is that are we going to beat up on people that have this? Are we going to beat on people that self-harm? Are we going to beat, you know what I mean? Like, if the thing is, like, we didn't want them to be judgmental against Johnny from Johnny's drinking and Johnny's drug use that he used to do and his lifestyle. We didn't want them to be judgmental. Remember that? We didn't want that. Well, now at the same time, we cannot base a case on her having this sickness. I know what I'm going to say. Nobody else is going to fucking say it. So we have to judge, and hopefully she gets judged as a person, not as a person with borderline, as a person that they commit actions, they're fucked up, and they are criminal actions, like pooping in somebody's bed, spitting up somebody's face, putting a cigarette on your face. That has nothing to do with her having histrionic or borderline. I know people that have borderline very closely, my ex, and he never done anything like that. So her actions have nothing to do with her personality disorder. And this is might not gonna be like a fucking popular opinion, but that's what I really think. I really think that it's two different things. And when the doctor was talking about Amber's anxiety, she said something that it was spot on. Her anxiety and the reason she takes Xanax and Valium and yes, that's exactly why. Because they have something called reactivity. Like you and I don't have that. I'm pretty sure you don't have that. These people react so fast and so much to absolutely everything. Because the thing is, if you leave, okay, let's just put it this way. All right. Imagine like a doll. You have a fucking puppet. You have a doll. You have a toy. The toy has no fucking personality whatsoever. Borderlines usually don't. So they mimic your personality because they don't have any. So it's really fucking hard when Johnny or anybody goes like, I don't know if I like you that much, because that means they don't like themselves. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I know, it's weird. It's a fucking trip. But that's what's going on. Somebody who has depression, anxiety, bipolar, they don't mimic nobody. It's just a mood disorder. That's different. Everybody keeps saying it's the same fucking thing, and it's not. Mood disorders are episodic. It's an episode. It can fucking last hours or days, okay? But the personality disorder is in the core of who you fucking are. That's what I'm saying, that it has to be a fucking nightmare. And as much as I don't like her, I do feel that it has to be a nightmare to be her and to be with her. Both things. I remember one of the audios from Johnny, and Johnny said, I don't want to be miserable anymore. I don't want you to be miserable anymore. BP2. Right. So, BP2, BP1, all those. Message retracted? Why did you retract your message? Tell me what you think. We can disagree. It's all good. I don't know. Your message got deleted, and I didn't do anything. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not even touching my phone. Look, I'm clean. It's not me. It's the internet. So yeah. So now we fucking know, allegedly from this doctor, which I love her, she was great, that Amber has this. I don't want the fucking stigma of everybody saying that people that have that are a bunch of fucking psycho crazy people that poop in your bed. You know what I mean? It's just like we didn't want the stigma. No, it doesn't, and it won't. And it won't. Unless you feel a big lost. A big lost can put you in an episode. Yeah. But otherwise it won't, because it's an episode, it's a mood. It's just a mood. You know what I mean? It's like some people like Thai food, some people like Chinese food, some people like Japanese food. That's what happens with mood disorders. That's what, it's not a big deal. It's a problem. It's not a problem, but it's hard to deal with. But you be just fine. You be just fine. But somebody like her that has a personality disorder is in the core of who the fuck she is. How is she gonna fix it? First of all, the one thing that it bothers me about this whole thing is that Amber was never seeking help to begin with. She went and did this 7-hour test with 565 questions, which is the real thing, with this doctor, amazing, just because she had to do it for court. She never really wanted to do it. So that's the difference with somebody that has borderline and is ready to do the work and is ready to fucking do the work and do therapy 3 times a week, take meds if they respond to it, and do the work, and then they can live a semi-normal life. But Amber she doesn't want to be treated. She doesn't. I think the only reason that this doctor came up with that diagnosis was because Amber went to the doctor's office. We know the story with the muffins. That was fucking some funny shit. It went from like really serious, because the doctor was talking about the borderline and the histrionic and the personality disorders, to what? I can say whatever I want. If you don't like it, you can go. What's up with my F words? Well, I usually can't say the F word when I'm at work or when my kids are here. So I happen to say the F word a lot, and doesn't make me dumb. It's just a word, you know? Just like people were judging Johnny because Johnny was saying the C word or the B word or the F word, and they're like reading his text messages and going like, look how much of a jerk he is. He's using all these words. So you're telling me that it's the same thing. But he can do it. It's your opinion. Like, it doesn't really matter. Well, it matters, but it's not gonna. It's irrelevant. It's not gonna change reality. So why I use the F words, I really don't know. Like, I'm not really conscious of it. I don't go like, I'm gonna use it now in 2 minutes. Like, I really don't know. It's like, I don't know why I've been dyeing my hair red for the last 10 years. I just feel like we can drop it. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I see what you're saying. Yeah. The intent sometimes is so silly. The F word or the B word is used, like, sometimes it can be endearing. Like, if I have my girlfriends and I call them, oh my God, bitch, don't do that, for example. It's endearing. It depends where you're from. It depends where you live. I live in California. So The B word is not such a big deal, but I can see if I go somewhere else, it will be offensive, and the person will be like, "Oh, why are you telling me that?" So I will apologize. But it depends where you're from and where you live and all that stuff. The F word, the B word, the C word. No, no, thank you. I do think that using words with intent against somebody will be offensive. But if I'm sitting here and talking about this actress, it's not like I'm talking, like I'm not telling you F off or F you. So there's not intent, it's more of a silly thing that just pops. But I get it. I get it. That's me. I'm trying to be logical. That's the thing with Amber. If we listen to the audio and we listen to Johnny dropping the F word every 2 minutes, that's the reason he's doing it. He is so damn frustrated, right? I'm not right now. I'm happy to do this. I'm just not frustrated. It's more of a silly way of communicating. So yeah, you're right. The intent is everything. The context is everything. The B word, the context is everything. When she was calling him whatever, fat old man, even the word fat and old, it's not a bad word, but it hurts like crazy, doesn't it? So it's not just the F word. It's somebody if somebody calls you fat old man, or you boy, you're losing your hair, you fat old man, whatever she was saying to him, that was more offensive than telling him to F off, because Johnny doesn't care about words like that. He uses them all the time. I also feel that with the intent it's out of context. Like when they were playing well, we are on YouTube playing her audio. Of course, they're not gonna play it in court because she looks like crap in these audios. Did you notice that the only time that she's using those words, or maybe it's just me thinking this, but I realized, I think that when Amber uses those words against Johnny, they're weapons. They are weapons. It's not like when he goes like, "Fuck you, you fat ass." He's like wants to get out of there. But when she uses them, when she uses words like fat, old, joke, when she say you're a joke, she's not telling him to go F off, but you're a joke. That to me, that hurts more than anything else. So I think that Amber is the perfect example of somebody who uses words as a weapon. And then she probably does this with her sister or her father. I don't think this is something that Amber does just to Johnny. The doctor was saying it yesterday, better than I ever will. This is in her personality. This is who she is. Do you think that she treats Johnny this way and then she goes and treats other people another way? No, because the borderline doesn't have a personality. I know it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? So that's what they mimic other people. For example, she was like dressed all bohemian, remember? And she was reading the books he was reading. She was listening to blues, jazz, whatever. She was just becoming Johnny. Then when they were not together anymore, when she went with Elon Musk, what she was doing, she got the whole, glam thing going on, and she was pretty. I still think that she is pretty, but she was prettier like a few years ago, and she got the glam going on. And then she keeps changing, but it's not really a change. It's really she's sucking on the personality of the other person, because they practically don't have one. So when the person changes, for example, you love freaking cheesecake, okay, and you are with your boyfriend and your girlfriend is borderline, and you mimic them because they love cheesecake, so now you like cheesecake. For example, one day they don't like cheesecake anymore, and if you have borderline, you're gonna freak the fuck out, because how this person dare to change. If this person changes and this person doesn't like cheesecake anymore, then I don't know who the fuck I am. Do you get it like that? It's a weird cheesecake fucking theory. So this is what happened to Amber. I think when Johnny was like, I kind of want to like change things up a little bit, then she felt abandoned, she felt attacked, she felt like she was gonna die. Like she says on those audios, I'm gonna die, don't leave the room, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. She probably in that moment feels like she's gonna die. And she didn't die, she's okay. But I'm saying, um, when you wanna change, my ex will tell me things, for example. I know about this, not because it's cool, but because I had two exes that have this. And one of them, I had to put a restraining order on him for real reasons, not fake Amber reasons. So what I'm trying to say is like I know a thing or two about these people, and the difference is that Amber, I don't know. We're not, we're not in her head, but I don't feel like she wants to do the work. I don't feel like she wants to be helped. I don't think that she wants to be treated. I think that she did all this tests with this doctor for 7 hours for court, and because she didn't want to look bad, she would look horrible. She'd say, I don't want to do the test. I'm perfect. I don't want to do the test. Can you imagine? So she sat down and did the test for 7 hours. But if she really want help, she really will do the test. If she wasn't in court and she wasn't with Johnny going through all this stuff, will she go to a therapist and seek help? I don't think so. That's why it's really hard that they're judging. They're pointing at an illness at her in court yesterday, but she's not seeking help. So it's just I don't really agree with that part of it. But yeah, like that is why she got so pissed off when he was trying to leave, because when you leave, they are left with nothing because they feel like they're, I'm not saying they are nothing, they feel like they're nothing. My ex used to feel the same way, and he used to talk about it. It's like, I feel empty. I'm like, why do you feel empty? No matter what I do, no matter what I do, no matter how I worship you like a god, you still feel empty. No matter what you do, these people are going to feel empty unless they seek help. I also know a girl they used to work with. She's in her 20s. She has borderline, and she lives a semi-normal life. So not everybody's going to be an Amber Heard. That's kind of what I don't want that to happen, because then we end up in the territory of like every drug addict is the same. Johnny's a drug addict, Johnny's an alcoholic, we're going to treat him like he's a monster because somebody called him a monster. So I don't want that to happen to her. I want her to be judged for her actions, for pooping on somebody's bed, for faking blood, for faking a bruise. That should be the talk in court. Now that we got that thing out of the way, she has borderline, she has histrionic, cool. Now they need to start talking about what she did, the actions, because her actions were diabolical. And maybe that's just my opinion, but just because somebody has borderline, not everybody, no, the chances of somebody with borderline going and pooping on your bed are like 0.000.1. You know what I mean? This is something that she does, not something that she is. So I hope that they don't get hooked. The judge doesn't get hooked on the idea of like, well, she has this, so now we have to treat her differently because she has this. I hope not. At the same time, I'm not really a big fan to like diagnose somebody in court like that in the open. But if you think about it, she had it coming, because what happened last week, the last day of last week, her team play the audio of Johnny allegedly trying to cut himself. Now we know the real story. He wasn't cutting himself. He said he was gonna cut himself. Anyway, she played that. So after they played that, I feel like now it's war. That was really dirty. So it was really dirty for her team to play that audio. Now his children are gonna know, oh my God, like is the first time that I saw him broken. He teared up. The internet doesn't want to say it, They're like, John is doing great. Yeah, he's doing great right now. After he finally said yesterday, I'm a victim. I'm a victim of domestic violence. Now he can just relax. He can feel fucking good. But last week he was feeling horrible when they played that audio. I don't care what people say. He was feeling horrible. So now it's like they're played dirty. So now the other team having a psychologist, forensic psychologist there, and diagnosing her in front of everybody, it's not more dirty than what they did to him last week. That's just my opinion. But I still think it was kind of strange. Elaine was hilarious with the muffins and all that. You're not gonna get that doctor out of shape because you're trying to poke like that Dr. Curry. She's like unpokeable. No, I think it was really funny. I didn't record it. I watched it like 3 times because it was just making me happy after all the serious dark stuff that everybody that she was talking about, because she was explaining what Amber allegedly has. After all that, then Elaine came and started asking like, well, did you actually, what is it that she said before she said the muffin? She said something else. Wait. Oh, she said, so you went to you went to Mr. Depp's house and you got dinner and you drank. You got dinner and drinks. And the doctor was like, well, dinner and drinks were served. See, words is so important in court. Like, you can't mess that up. And Elaine was like trying to say, well, you're best friends with Johnny. You go and you drink with Johnny. And she's like, no, drinks were served. And Johnny wasn't even there. I was talking to the 5 lawyers that he has. So that woman did so good, and she got it out of the park. And Elaine was poking and poking and poking. And when she got to the part of the muffin, I was like, I was drinking my tea and I almost spilled it. I was like, you're not cross-examining somebody based on if they brought muffins to their office. I can't believe it. Elaine is like, she needs to go home. I feel bad for Elaine a little bit because I'm like, can you imagine like to have to defend Amber Heard with no evidence whatsoever? Like, it was just, you'll be nervous too. You'll be a nervous wreck, man. But telling this lady, well, you went there and you got drinks was the first mistake. I knew after that, I didn't know the muffins were coming because I saw it, I was watching it live, so nobody told me, hey, she's gonna talk about muffins. But when she started with this whole, you went there and you got drinks, I knew. I was like, Elaine, we know what you're going for. My God, you're gonna go there. You're gonna go and say that she isn't Johnny's payroll and she's Johnny's friend. And I don't think she is. I think she likes Johnny as a person, the doctor, but I don't think she's his friend. She's not even treating Johnny. So yeah, the whole thing was like really, it was like really serious and a bit triggering for me and really hard to listen to. And then it just turned into a joke in a millisecond. That was so funny. So funny. And it was so offensive. It was funny. But it was so offensive at the same time. It's like Elaine has a way. Rottenborn is also offensive too, but he's not funny. Right? The other dude, Rottenborn, he's not funny. He's just offensive. He's a bully. He's like one of those lawyers that he feels that he has to be a shark. He thinks that maybe it shows his smartness if he's a shark and he's a bully because he probably got bullied when he was a kid and now he's taking it on the whole world. I don't know what his freaking deal is. But Elaine is not only a bad lawyer, but also she is like just making us laugh. Yeah, it was just hilarious when she's like, you told your husband that Amber Heard was coming to your office, and Dr. Curry was like, no, like my husband happened to know. Well, why? Because I told him to clear out the office because somebody famous was coming. And why you got the muffins? And I love what she said. She's like, well, I didn't have breakfast and I'm usually late. So my husband got me some breakfast, which was the muffins, because I'm usually late. So he brought them to the office. And then I enjoy them with Mrs. Heard. And Elaine was like, but what about the muffins? What about the muffins? Like it was so good. Let me see if I can find it. It was hilarious because the doctor goes like, "Can I clarify something so we stop talking about the muffins?" I love that line.
And also
Oh,
psychological evaluation of Mr. Down. No.
Muffin Gate, man. It went from like Poop Gate to Mega Pint Gate to I Make a Cream Gate. It's Muffin Gate. It's on.
So I reviewed.
You know what? It would be so funny if somebody brings muffins. You can't really eat it in court, but Johnny was snacking. You guys saw that? He was so cute about it. Johnny and his lawyer, the tall guy with the glasses, his name is Ben, the one next to him, they were like, they were snacking on something. I don't blame them, dude. Like, could it be there for like 8 hours or 9? They were snacking. But you can't really bring stuff to court. But it will be funny if somebody shows up with muffins. Even in the cafeteria. Like, the jury is going to be like, yeah. I don't like muffins. You like muffins? Muffins are too much, man. Like, I don't like sweets. I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't like ice cream. When I was pregnant, I wanted to eat like onions and like garlic. Weird. I never like ice cream. Like if I, like the whole cliche of like a woman being like, oh yeah, I have, I'm depressed because my boyfriend broke up with me, so I'm just gonna eat ice cream and watch TV. The whole cliche thing. I don't like ice cream. And I don't like TV. No, but I mean, like, I'll do something else. Give the ice cream to somebody else. I don't like ice cream. My kids make fun of me all the time because I don't like sweet stuff. What I like cheesecake, but I don't consider cheesecake as sweet because it's not really sweet. If it's really good cheesecake, it shouldn't be sweet. Anyway, see, I have ADD. I'm disclosing. This is what I do. But then I go back to the middle. The middle was Amber's Heard diagnosis of borderline and histrionic. Histrionic is something that I think maybe like half of the actors in Hollywood might have, but I think Lady Gaga has that. I don't know. But they never really like get to a court and they get tested for 7 hours. But I think a lot of people have this. So what's happened with histrionic, and Amber is like a perfect example of it. There is constant, like, if they can be in the supermarket, they could be a Target, they could be the gas station, but there's always a spot. There's like a camera on them all the time, no matter what. So even if Amber wasn't famous, she'll be acting like she's famous. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. That's how it is. And when you don't give them the attention they want, you turn into the enemy. You're the enemy. And maybe you're like, oh, did you notice that I dye my hair? And you go like, no, but it looks great. But you didn't notice it. You become the enemy for those people. It's just like that. And sadly, I hate to say it, but more women have it than men. It's not only that, but I think more women seek treatment and then they get diagnosed, so then the numbers go up. Not with everything, but I'm talking about the histrionic, which is pretty much being an actress in your whole life, even if you're not an actor. It's like all the time. You're acting constantly. Like, even people on YouTube have that. I don't want to say names, but no, nobody like us, but like some people, like, for example, the beauty people, the beauty community on YouTube. A lot of those kids are, there's something. They're just acting like they're freaking Madonna. I don't know. But like, one thing is like seeking attention. Like, we all like attention, and we all like to, to be told that we're pretty, and why not? Yes. Yeah, Amber did that. And that is because the reaction, she is reactive. Like, people, they don't have what Amber has. We cannot understand that. Like, if I do something like that, there's gonna be a really good damn reason for me to do something like that. But first of all, I won't do it. I never done it. But in the future, if anything like that happens, you know it's gonna be there's gonna be a logical reason, like you're messing with my kid or something like that. Amber has this thing that it comes with a borderline that is called reactivity. So she reacts more than anybody else will react. That's why when JD was late for her birthday party, was the end of the world, the end of the universe of the world. So now the question is like what I'm asking myself, and like everybody's like should ask this: Does she knows? Does she knows? She knows what she has. Do you guys think she knows? I think sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't. I know that sounds dumb, but I don't think that she knows 100%. She knows there's something wrong with her, but she calls it anxiety. You can hear in the audios her saying, I have anxiety, you give me anxiety. That's a borderline thing, saying to somebody, you're giving me anxiety. No, nobody's giving you anxiety. You have anxiety. The anxiety can be genetic, it can be environmental, it can be because you don't have money to pay the bills, it can be because you have, you know, your parents have it and you grow up in a freaking place that whatever. There's so many reasons, but Amber was saying on the audios, I have anxiety. So I don't think that she knew that this anxiety was not anxiety. You know what I mean? I wasn't. Or that's what the doctor said, and I believe that it wasn't anxiety, that it was this show, this constant show. Like I'm telling you, if you don't tell me that my hair looks good or whatever, you become the enemy for this type of people. It's not like I'm gonna be mad at you and just I'm depressed and I send you a text saying F you, I hate you. No. It's not saying, it won't be that. You will be the enemy. And I think that's what Johnny married her so fast and was and like just love bombed by her so fast, because this is what people like her do. They make you feel like you're like the king or the queen of the world. And that's why the doctor was saying they're very sophisticated and they might not be really smart, like they went to college and they got a master degrees, because you know she says she doesn't, but she's smart in a different way. She's very smart. Yeah, she's sophisticated, way more than Evan. Now that I'm seeing all this like from different lenses, my intuition, I'm not a doctor. My intuition was telling me that Amber has always been smarter than ever Ultra would. Yeah. And she's even, I think she's even confused about her own self when she was telling John in the audios, well, I need this because I have anxiety. And I don't think she has anxiety. She has borderline. And the anxiety is not anxiety. Like you and I will have anxiety because, oh my God, we can't pay the rent. So we go, if we don't pay the rent, we get evicted. If we get evicted, we go homeless. There's a logic to our anxiety. Well, she doesn't have that. Her anxiety just pops out of nowhere because you didn't show up you show up to her birthday 45 minutes late, and with a good reason to be late, but they're not listening to you because you are the enemy. That's what I get from it. Like really, that's what's up. And that's how my ex was. You cannot do anything to please these people. You're never gonna live to their standards. Even if Johnny was still with her, let's pretend that he was still with her, whatever. I'm not gonna put my hair up because it's bothering me. You can't live up to their standards. I'm like, I don't want, like, I want her to pay for what she did to him, but I don't want her to like die. I don't want her to off herself or whatever. And we're scared about people like her, and it's so impulsive that, dude, like, I don't know for how long you can actually last on this, if you don't get help. But if you get help, you can be okay. It's not gonna be great. It sucks though, because it's one of those things that there's no medication for it. And doctor said yesterday, people say it all the time, and watch any video on YouTube about narcissism and borderline and all that. The meds only treat the symptoms. For example, she talks about having insomnia. So she got Ambien, which is a medication for symptom, which is anxiety. Anxiety is insomnia. Insomnia is anxiety. It's the same thing. It's being anxious about going to sleep. That's what it is. People think, oh, I have insomnia. No, 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 you have anxiety. But okay, whatever. So the meds are not going to work on her unless she does the work, which is therapy, do like at least 3 times a week for somebody like her. But I don't think she will though, because the whole reason that she did this 7-hour test is just for court. So otherwise, you think she would have done it? She wouldn't. Another thing the doctor said that it was really, really interesting that I never thought about that with her, that they minimize, let's say she, I don't like to say they, Amber minimizes like her own things and then maximize Johnny's stuff. Do you know? It's like it's okay for her to like drop, ecstasy and what is it? Eat mushrooms and all that, and drive to Coachella in her own car, completely freaking high out of her mind on mushrooms. But that's okay. She can do that. But then Johnny can't freaking have two, glass of whiskey. So because that's kind of what it seems like she's been doing this whole time with him. And now we know because of the audios. We had the audios for like a year and a half already all over YouTube. But the new audios are like really interesting because you can hear her saying things like that. But it's irrelevant. She said Amber says the word irrelevant over and over. Everything is irrelevant. She goes, well, is it relevant if I did that or not? Well, it's relevant to her though, but not to Johnny or to anybody that will be in the room listening to it, like Jerry Judge that passed away, or Sean, Travis, all these people that work with him, for him, or with him, that they'll be in the room. Yeah, she has histrionic, which is the one that I've been talking about for a freaking year. I was saying histrionic. Histrionic is there's always a spotlight on you. Everything becomes a movie. You might be a famous actor or you might not be. You might be a regular Jane Doe down the street and you can go to the supermarket and that becomes a movie because you always have a spotlight on your head. It's the best way I can explain it. And what it is it's called a cluster diagnosis. When people sometimes say like, oh my God, this is a cluster fuck, right? Well, that came out because it's a real thing. Having a cluster of diagnosis is like, for example, like when you have bipolar 2 and you have bipolar 2, but you also have PTSD, not you, but I'm saying you could have. So that's the thing with her. She has borderline and, if we're going to believe the court, and histrionic, which I think the half of Hollywood has the same thing. They just don't, they're not, they never sit down for a test for 7 hours. But I think it's really common, especially in women and especially in entertainment. I think, I'm sorry to say, especially in women, but that's kind of how I feel. I was saying like people on YouTube have this, the beauty community, how they think so high of themselves. That's Amber, and everything that she's gonna do is gonna minimize. It's gonna be minimized unless she doesn't want it to minimize it, and then it's gonna become a movie. That's why, like, she goes. You see her commercials, for L'Oreal or whatever she does that is not acting. Things that she does, like in the activism and all that, or the modeling jobs or whatever. It's very extra. Like you don't have to try that much. You're pretty, but she's extra. She's it has to be like you and I go to 10, 11, she goes to 20. And usually they do look good. That's the thing with these people. Usually, and if they don't look good because they don't have good genetics, let's say, whatever, they're going to try whatever. They're going to just make you're going to start seeing these people with pink glasses and you're going to see them as the hottest person. I know because this happened to me. And then my friends would be like, he's not hot. And I was like, what are you talking about? So the borderline. does that. He was just like that, but he was narcissist as well, so it's different than Amber. Yeah, she can hurt herself. Yeah, that's what. As much as I don't like her, I have a little bit of a like worry because I'm like, dude, you can like really off yourself any minute, and it's not gonna be because she wants to die, because these people really don't want to die because they love themselves. Kind of. No, they don't. Kind of. It's so complicated, but maybe by accident. An accident. She might get, I hope, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say the K word. The K word on YouTube is always bad. So she might off herself just because she's not getting the attention that she needs. And this whole thing that they're doing and being televised and having the cameras and we're talking about it and we're playing videos of her and whatever is really not good. It's good in the name of the truth and justice, but it's not good for what she has, because seriously, humiliation is like the worst thing that can happen to these people. Because remember what I said, they don't have personality. So her personality is being an actress in Hollywood, being a cute blonde actress in Hollywood. So you take that away from her, the success, the money, whatever. So who is she? Who is she if you take that away? You know? If you take everything away from Johnny, let's say Johnny, whatever he does, he end up being homeless on the street, okay? And like he's not famous. He's just Johnny with that person, with Johnny personality. He still feels like he's somebody because, yeah. Well, borderline like Amber, she will feel so empty that she will feel like she's nobody and she can hurt herself if she's alone. That's kind of why you notice with Evan Rachel Wood the same thing. Like they have a new boyfriend or girlfriend like every 3 months. To me, that's exhausting. To think about dating people every 3 months or every 6 months. Oh my god! Like I'm no thanks, but they do. Why? Why? It's not because they get bored. It's because the person is not meeting their needs anymore. And if you don't meet their needs, what they're gonna do, like the doctor was saying, that I forgot that was a thing, the evaluation, and then discard, delete. They discard you like like you were up here, you were like the most beautiful, magnetic, like she does Johnny in the audios. You're so magnetic, you're brilliant, and they usually use these words because they want to sound smart, and they're smart sometimes. She's smart. She's smart. Otherwise, she wouldn't wouldn't be talking about her if she wasn't smart. For real, like she wouldn't. That's the difference between Evan. I don't think Evan is smart. What do you think about Evan? I think Evan is more of a puppet. I don't think she's smart. Sorry. Sorry, Evan. I don't know why Manson. I don't know what the hell was going on with the whole Lolita situation that happened, but I don't think that she's I don't think Evan is smart in the long run. Like I don't think she planned this well. I can talk about Evan Richard Wood for hours, but now I was talking about Amber because Amber is there daily. And I'm watching it and going to work at night and sleeping and watching it. Well, they probably talk about themselves. That's what they talk about. Mhm. About themselves and about how all of us are pieces of shit. Because what I'm saying is like if you don't do what they want, you become the enemy. It's really, really strange. I mean, it took me a whole year to actually understand this about my ex. Johnny is his name, believe it or not. Because like I'm saying, I was in denial. I was gaslit and I thought he was the most attractive person in the world. And my friends would be like, he's not that good looking. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's so hot. Like they really they mess up with your self-esteem to the point that you start asking like, who are you really? To be who? To be Amber? I think it's very scary to be Amber. Also, like, I don't know if that's what you meant, but the doctor was saying the same thing. Like, she changes friends, like she changes underwear, dude. There's always a new friend, a new best friend, and you see with Johnny that he has friends and people he worked with for the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? I'm not saying that he's perfect, that he doesn't have any flaws. He's not perfect. We know. Nobody is. But the fact that he can maintain his relationship, oh, with all three of them, you know what I think? I don't know, but okay. I think Ilma Gore is probably the most dangerous one because she has a criminal mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's a con artist. She conned people for money before. She tried to open bank accounts and get credit cards in her sister's name because they're twins. She's a con woman. So I think Ilma is more dangerous because a criminal mind is different. I don't think Amber has a criminal mind. I don't think Evan has a criminal mind at all. Evan is a little girl throwing a tantrum. Like, like seriously. Ilma has a criminal mind. Like, she's like hacking shit. Yeah, because she's a hacker and she said it on that podcast. She was proud of herself, going like, "Oh, I have a degree in computer science. I'm a hacker. Ha ha ha." It's like, girl, don't admit that in public. Even if you are, I wouldn't say I am, even if I was. But that's like the criminal. That's how the criminal thinks. I mean, like, that she tried to open a bank account on her mom's name, and her mom is dead. I hate to do this because it looks like gossip, but it's everywhere on YouTube, so I can talk about it, I guess. So Ilma, it scares me a lot. And it's really good that Manson went straight to the source and is suing Ilma and Evan. It would not be that good if he was suing only Evan. But yeah. No, Ilma is just up here. Up here, criminal gangster. I'm not saying that makes her like interesting. I'm just saying that's what I think. I think she's a criminal. So going back to Amber, she needs to be judged and yeah. Ilma, yes. No, in my mind too. I think the same thing. When I was watching the things that she used to do, like painting with her own blood and doing all these things for attention and getting people's monies and getting tattoo on her skin. If you gave her $10, she will get a tattoo of whatever you want her to get. Like, who thinks like that? No, I know people in town that knows her, and nobody has one good thing to say about her. Not Evan, Ilma. I don't know anybody who knows Evan. Like, who the fuck knows Evan? Evan is like not knowable. There's an interview on Ellen. I think it's from like 2017 or something. That Evan is talking. I'm gonna put the link later. I need to find it. I have it on my phone. I forgot. I don't know what. Anyway, there's an interview that Evan is telling Ellen in the talk show. That's another one that is a psychopath. Anyway, she was telling Ellen, "Oh yeah, I moved to Tennessee," and she's so happy about it. And she's like, "Well, it's a decision that I made because it's so clean over there and it's so peaceful. It's not because she was scared," which is what she's been saying. And the problem that I have with Evan is that she's messing with her kid and with the father of the kid. So to me, it's like I don't like talking about the whole thing too much. But yeah, she moved because she wanted to move. She didn't move to Tennessee because she was scared. And that was probably Ilma Gore's idea. That was probably her idea to tell Evan, "Hey, you say when they ask you that you did this because of this." Do you know what I mean? Going back to Amber, because see my ADD is kicking in. Going back to Amber, because there's so much to these people, and in a way, I felt really bad for Johnny. And I felt bad for Amber in a way, but I'm so proud of Johnny for like not being with her anymore and being clean and sober. I think he's clean and sober from pain pills, which that is amazing because not a lot of people can say that. People die from it. People get addicted. The whole life is a really hard one to kick. And he said he's clean and sober. I believe him. So I'm so proud of him. The proudest moment I had was on Monday. Today is Wednesday. On Monday, where he said, "I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim of domestic violence." You saw my video. I was like, I was crying. I never thought I was gonna, hear that from him. And I like that he said, "I am." He didn't say, "I was." I am a survivor. That word pissed me off. I'm a survivor. No, you're a victim. I'm sorry. The moment that you think that you're a survivor and you think that's not gonna happen to you ever again, you're delusional. So I don't like that word. I mean, like Evan used it. Esme, the Ashley Walter, Ashley Morin, they're survivors. Well, it might happen to you again, like next month. So you go back to be a victim. So the word victim is not such a bad thing. And I like that he used that word because that's exactly how he felt. For what? 4 years, whatever the relationship lasted. But the thing is, what's fucked up is that it's in her mind, she's a victim too. So this is what I don't know how this case is gonna go. Because if she's so sure, just think about it. She's so she's so sure that she's a victim. Like even if he wins and she loses, I'm sorry, I'm playing with my hair so much. I don't know what to do with it anymore. It's annoying. Um, she might do something else. She might do something crazy because she still feels she's the victim. Besides, I don't think that she has $50 million to pay him. But we know he's not doing it for the money. But wasn't a moment right there on Monday when he said that? Did you notice that after he said that, he was so relaxed? Tuesday and Wednesday, which is today, he was way more relaxed in court. And John is like such a honest person, so you can read him even if you don't know the guy. You can see he was eating snacks. He was talking to the female lawyer. That's probably driving Amber insane. Oh my god. I catch her in a couple few weird faces that she made. But see, again, I don't want to judge somebody for the way they look, because I'm trying to be logical. Because even if Evan was the most gorgeous woman in the world, we're not gonna like her no matter what. Yeah, she's going crazy after everybody, and because of the borderline. Because I'm telling you, hold on, I need. Every time I do this, my phone starts dying. Oh shoot. Anyway, she's gonna go after Tug, and then she's gonna go after Fox News, and then she's gonna go after E Weekly. She's gonna go after Vanity Fair. She's gonna go after anybody because she's a sorry. Like I was saying, anybody who is against, not against her, but no, if we don't like her, we're the enemy. I don't want to hurt Amber. I don't want to. I mean, no. But if we don't like her, we're the enemy. So Tug is the enemy. How is she's gonna prove? Like, it's a YouTube channel and it's his opinion. He can say whatever he wants. It's not necessarily press, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Probably. So even if he has millions and millions of views, he still is YouTube and his commentary. If he starts saying it's press, then she can go after him. Yeah. But I love Tug because he doesn't give a fuck. He's laughing at the whole thing. His video, well, if you want to know, oh yeah, I don't like that part. They said something about the kid and then the dog, and Doug was like, I don't even have a dog, but okay, like they were just, yeah. What I do believe that Amber has a team of people looking at Instagram and watching stuff. I do think so. They have to be. Oh, did you catch that she was playing with her Apple Watch? She was like this. That's no reason for you to be scratching yourself in court. Like, how itchy are you? Well, but she was like, she was playing like, let's say I don't have a bracelet, but let's say this is a bracelet, and then she got a sleeve over it, and then not when was it that she was wearing the black stuff? Okay, she was wearing all black yesterday. She was playing with her Apple Watch. Why is she allowed to have a? Well, I guess I don't know how because it's a device, but nobody's gonna be touching her. Be like, here, we gotta touch you, like they do at the airport that they do this on you to see if you have weapons. They always do that on me for some freaking reason. So, but they're not allowed to touch you in court. So nobody's gonna say, "Give me your, let me touch your arm," and I want to like it. But for sure, I think that she's recording the whole thing. She was giving this doctor the evil eye big time. Like, I will not. Oh my god, I was like, I'm scared for that doctor. But whatever. I mean, she can record. I'm recording right now, and it's a freaking phone. She can record on her Apple Watch and then listen to it. Okay, did you? I mean, people are freaking out with this whole thing about her taking notes. She can take notes. When I went to court, I took notes. But the weird thing with Amber, she's taking notes when the camera is on her. I don't know how she knows the camera is on her, but maybe it's just my perception of it. But let's say she's like this, right? So she's listening, and then the camera pans to her, and then she's like, and I have a feeling that she's taking notes because she might mimic what he was saying. I'm telling you, this is what they do. They copy you. Remember how she copied the whole story from Kate James, her assistant? She copied her story. Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. So she might get on the stand maybe like a week or so and start talking about her childhood abuse or whatever. And I'm not saying that didn't happen because I don't want to throw that out of the window. I do think that something happened. I don't know. Her dad is really strange. And nobody has a disorder like that if they have a complete normal family. Something went wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that went wrong, but it wasn't Johnny Depp. I think, my opinion. But I won't be surprised if she's gonna copy people's stories. She's gonna make her own collage of things, and that's why she's taking so many notes. But it's not illegal to take notes. She can just be writing her grocery list. What she did the second day was bad because she took the note and then she turned. You're not supposed to turn. You're supposed to always be like the judge have to see you. You're supposed to be on site. I don't know how to explain it. She turned, unless they're on a break. If you're on a break, then you can just like talk to your people and turn and whatever. But she took the note. This is the first week, second day or first day. She took the note and then she turned her whole body and then gave it to this Eve Harlow person, her new girlfriend or whatever. And then the girlfriend was on Instagram, Twitter, posting things. The note wasn't given to the lawyer. The note was given to the friend. It's like if I go to court and I have you, Robert, and I said like, he's press. He's here to take pictures of me and take notes. He's press. No, you're not supposed to be there unless you are in the legal team. You can be a rookie paralegal that you just got your license 3 months ago, but you're still a paralegal. You have to be in the team. Yeah, Eve Barlow. I say Harlow. Eve Barlow. Yeah, she's another one. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like that's her new friend. Like the girlfriend from last year. That's what I'm saying. That's what the borderline does. They discard you. You are disposable. When you don't feed their needs anymore, you're done. And I don't know what happened in that relationship, but I'm from personal experience, you're done. You might not be done loving them and missing them or whatever, but you're done in their head. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And the fucked up thing is they're gonna make you believe that you are a jerk because you're trying to break up with them. That's what Amber's been doing, and it happened to me. It happened to me. My ex thought that I was the biggest witch because I was trying to like take a break. How dare me? It's the same thing, and I'm just not famous and I don't have any fucking money. But like it's the same thing. Yeah, every time. And some of them are cheaters, some of them self-harm, not all of them. That's why I don't want to generalize. I don't like the people in court that are doing this whole everybody with borderline is the same way. No, 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 they're not. But Amber is kind of like checks every item on the list of the self-harm and the impulsiveness and being promiscuous. That's a big one. We can all be, but with them it's more, you know. I don't know why she punched her friend. I don't have an answer for that. She probably doesn't have an answer either. That's what I'm saying, that my lips are dry. I'm talking too much. Lily, my cat woke up and she's looking at me like, why are you talking to a phone? Lily, it's fine. Come here. You want to come here? She's like, I'm napping. This is my evening nap. Well, I'm off on Wednesday, so I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I work graveyard shift. So that's kind of why I'm so awake. So the Amica cream, I've been snoring on my apartment with black walls. I do have black curtains. I have black bed. So I'm just like an abuser. I'm a monster. The thing about the monster, I'm gonna make a whole video this week about what Johnny explained the monster. He explained the bloodbath, which we know is a book, and there's a movie based on the book, all right? But it was taken out of context. Like even the sexy, dark. Ah, thank you for hanging out. I know it's probably late over there. I don't know what you are, but I'm always late. See, that's another thing. Like people are late. I don't have a husband that's gonna give me the muffins if I'm late, so I'm fucked. But yeah, I'm usually late. If that makes you a bad person, no, it doesn't. So there's things like that I just don't want everybody to generalize Amber for having what she has, because then we are doing the same that they did when they generalized JD. So we gotta be careful of that. It's just nobody's gonna probably like what I'm saying. Because nobody says this stuff. Like I'm just really thinking of as a empathetic person. However, her actions were criminal. Pooping on bed, cigarette on your face, throwing the bottle that cut his finger. Those are criminal actions. So it's not like the borderline made her do it. Like that's the thing. I hope they don't go on that, and they don't just start saying that she's a victim of this mental health disorder, which is sucks, and it just seems to be. I'm sorry. Seems to be the worst that a person can have, along with schizophrenia. But see, if she had schizophrenia, then she can actually use that. They can say, well, she was hearing voices, and the voices were telling her what to do. But borderlines don't hear voices. Ah, Actually, it's the opposite. The doctor was saying they're so in the moment. It hurts. It has to hurt to be so hypersensitive. That's why she's not a narcissist. I believe that for a while. That's what I never called her narcissist. So I was like, just because she's into herself and she likes herself a lot, I do feel she feels guilt. I do think so. And the doctor said it, so I might not be that wrong. I feel like she feels so much. The problem is that she expects everybody to feel what she feels. See what I mean? Otherwise, we're bad people. Johnny is a monster. Everybody that works with Johnny is a monster. Her whoever, like all her ex friends, her ex girlfriends, they're all bad because we don't feel like she does. We might feel, but we don't feel that much, and that comes with the borderline and the histrionic together is a recipe for disaster because it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm gonna do this. So it's then she becomes a dangerous person, and then I think then you commit a crime. Put a cigarette on somebody's freaking cheek. Okay, that's a crime. Doesn't matter if you're bipolar or borderline or you have PTSD or you have anxiety, you have panic attacks. Doesn't matter. That's a crime. But the problem is that Johnny and his team, they never call the cops. This is not being treated as a criminal case, and I think it should be. What do you think? I think it should be. But like Sean was saying, the security person, they didn't want to call the cops. They were protecting her. Also, they were protecting JD because the paparazzi. He's too big. I mean, there's some male actors they're not that big. JD is like really too big to have the cops showing up, and arresting his girlfriend. But I do wish that somebody called the cops. We would not be talking about her. She'd be either in jail or she'd be doing community service, anger management, whatever. To me, it's a criminal thing. In California, when you throw something at somebody, it can be like this, a soft little headband. It is assault. So the fact that people are saying, well, it wasn't glass or like whatever, it was a can, it is assault. It's assault. For example, spitting is a weird one. Lily, do you mind? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's weird because nobody will think spitting is a crime. In California, spitting is a crime because you can transmit a disease to somebody. Isn't it trippy? This is Lily. She doesn't care. She doesn't care what I'm doing. She doesn't. Today I have to get like live and watch that thing with Alejandro Romero. Alejandro Romero is a hero. Yeah, she said Tabby. Tabby's a very, very needy. They want to be with you all the time. Look at her. She's purring. I wish that I can put a microphone on her throat. Okay, I'm sorry. She likes Marilyn Manson. When I play Marilyn Manson, she likes it. She's like, yeah, you're totally right. Why, when you guys say something to me, it disappears? I don't like that at all. I don't know what you said because it disappeared. And I'm kind of slow. I'm tired. Both. I'm slow and I'm tired. You said something about Manson's trial. It's a different. Well, it is. Okay, I need to look that up. The thing with Manson. Hold on. I have it. Manson is taking those two to court for emotional distress, and Johnny is not. That was a big mistake. So yeah, Manson is doing that. So it's a very good deal. Emotional distress. So even if they say that Evan was not, that it wasn't defamation, is going to be emotional distress. So it's going to be one of the two. So they're going to be guilty of two, or they're going to be guilty of one. You know what I mean? I think they're guilty of both things. That the guy being canceled. I'm talking about Manson now. There's so many similarities, and like, I think the biggest mistake that Evan made was to make that movie. To make that movie and sit there and say that she was RAPE on the set of Heart Shaped Glasses. You can that's just beyond. It's beyond. It's really bad. It's as bad as what Amber did. It's a different type of bad, but it's bad. And it's called defamation per se. Because what happens is, like, for example, okay, on Instagram, there's a lot of people that don't get in trouble when they post Evan stuff, but then somebody else that shares your post, then they take you down, because it's almost like a copy of a copy. So if Evan left it, oh yeah, I see it now. It reminds you of a, yeah, it does. You're right. It's just a witch hunt, but they're not witches. But it is a witch hunt, and I don't want that to become a witch hunt towards Amber either. People are gonna think I like Amber. I don't. I just I think that she's very sick, and I don't think Evan is sick. I think Evan is a little brat. That's about it. She's a jealous brat. Um, I don't know how it's gonna go with Manson. It might take like I don't know. It might take like a couple years or something. I don't know. Things get very slow. Even in California, that you think, oh, look at Britney Spears. It took her 13 years to get a court date. I mean, I'm serious. Like, it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. It's gonna take quite long, unless he pushes. If he pushes and pushes, maybe it will be fast. But the thing is, emotional distress. The emotional distress is the one thing that you can prove like this. And Johnny made a mistake. Not Johnny. His team made a mistake to not sue her for that. Oh, I made 20 videos on that documentary. I think that her parents and the things that happen in the documentary with the mom and the dad are real. I think that's I think that's I think that's the problem with Evan. I think that she tells lies and truth at the same time, and it gets all entangled. Do you know what I mean? I think I think some of the stuff in the documentary is real. The mother taking her to LA and pimper her out so she can be famous, taking her away from her dad and her brother. You guys saw that? That's not trauma. They know each other because this is not a big town. Tell you, I know people that know Ilma. It's not a big town, especially if they are in activism and they were doing gay rights and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not that. It's really not that hard to that. It's not that bizarre that they know each other. Um, if Evan was such an activist and whatever, why she's not posting anything about Amber? Why she's not showing support? She won't. She's not doing it. About when she went to the Oscars, Evan went to the Oscars, and remember that somebody got slapped. I thought she was gonna make a big deal. I was waiting for the post about the violence during the Academy Awards, and Evan didn't say anything. Somebody like her would say something. See what I mean? It's only when it's convenient for her. Like, she doesn't do anything. Look at I can't look at her Instagram because I'm using my phone for this. But look at Evan Rocha Wood Instagram. It's all like she takes screenshots and reshares. It's not even like posting, typing your own post, girl. Like, so damn lazy. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I thought with Amber, with Evan, I think she's narcissist, and I think she's very immature. Like I think she never really and it has a lot to do with you know child actors, man. They always she started acting when she was like 5 years old. You don't know what's reality. You don't know what's truth, what's a lie. Her dad in the movie and the documentary. We're gonna call it a movie because I feel like it was a movie, not the documentary. Her dad said that Evan is making up stories and internal monologues since she was a little kid. She was playing pretend, not pretend, but yeah. So there you go. That's the answer. I think that she's been doing it for so long that she just doesn't even. It's both things. I think that she does have a personality disorder. Because what? Okay, she didn't talk. That's why. Yeah, that's totally why. It was super funny when Johnny said once I give Marilyn Manson a pill so he would shut the fuck up. I'm Manson. I'm Manson. I'm like Manson. I can freaking talk for hours. You gotta give me a pill so I can shut up. Um, um, my therapist told me once. She was like, well, it wasn't my therapist, be my therapist, but then she became a friend after 10 years. My therapist was like, "You are an introvert because I am," and I was like, "Oh, so I am." Well, everybody keeps telling me that I'm not, and she said, "No, you are. You are an introvert that doesn't know when to shut the fuck up." That was my diagnosis. I thought it was brilliant. I think Manson is like that. Marilyn Manson, like he's like shy, but at the same time, it's like he just loves to talk and give you information. And he's so damn smart that we're gonna listen to him reading the note of a grocery list. I feel like JD and Manson have that in common. Like they communicate in a way that is just so original. Like you know what I mean? I thought it was great when he said I have to give him a pill so he would shut the fuck up. Even the lawyer was laughing. Yeah, I love to listen to both of them talk. Like Johnny has been throwing poetry. He say the words. I'm not gonna repeat the words that the names that he called her right on his text messages, but he was saying like the most awful, like he was, but he makes it sound like poetry. I was like, damn, if I can only, not only his voice, but just like the way he delivers everything. And I'm so glad that they can go back to interviews and see this is exactly how he talks. He's not intoxicated. He thinks, process, and then talks, which is something that is hard to find these days. And it's not because he's drunk. It's not because he's slow. Um, it was so offensive when the lawyer said to him, well, I don't, what was it? He said, I don't want to waste the court's time. And Johnny said, I don't think I'm wasting anybody's time. Remember that moment? That was a moment. It was so insulting. That lawyer is really a bully. But see, what I'm saying is like it's not illegal to be a jerk. Like the lawyer, there's like two types of lawyer. I mean, like you can see like his team is more like taking the high road and being kind of the bigger person. And her team is like boom, 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 bully, 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 harassing. But the judge is not going to stop and say like, be nice, because it's not preschool, it's court, and it's not illegal to be like that. It's awful. It's awful. He's the worst. I mean, Elaine is pretty bad. She's such a Karen. She's pretty bad, but at least she makes us laugh. But Rottenborn is just awful. I was like, I made a whole compilation, but I just can't find it right now. Of course, not right now. I'm not gonna find it because I'm trying to find it. It's not gonna happen. Of him just saying, of Johnny saying, "Yeah, you read it right. Yeah, that's my signature." Yeah, I love it. I love when Manson talks about Johnny Depp. I put in a little short right there. He's like, he's like showing a picture of Johnny. He goes like, look how handsome he is. And he looks sad. You know why he's sad? Because he's not with me right now. That video is so cute. They're brothers. And I get it. Manson is an only child. I'm an only child. And we we do that when we find somebody, and it's not a romantic thing. It can be anything. But we found somebody that is like us. It's like it becomes a brother or a sister. And they're so cute together. But I get why he can't really make a statement. He better not. It might be a mistake if he. I don't know. What do you think? You think that he should make? He should do it. That he should. Think he should open his mouth. I think it's better to stay in the shadows for now. He has a really good lawyer. You look that guy up, Howard King, and that law firm he's an entertainment lawyer. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's like family law lawyers. A lawyer is a lawyer, but they're specialized in their different things. It's like retail, um, there's lawyers that are going to help you sell a house. There's lawyers that are going to help you with children custody. This lawyer that he has now is an entertainment lawyer. Like he just knows the ins and out of the business. He represents actors and musicians and writers. So I like him. And he was really short and sweet, even if it's 28 pages, and I read it all in a video. When you think about it, 28 pages, the Manson lawsuit is not that much for the type of information for what the bullshit they put on him. 28 pages, it's not that much. He kept it. The attorney, whoever, I think they're probably like 6 people on that team. It's not just one person. They kept it sweet. They were like, this too, and personally FBI, they're hacking my computer, blah blah blah. It was very to the point. The Johnny thing is not as much as, I don't know. I really wish that he would suing her for emotional distress. She'd be guilty of that in a second, like right now. Doesn't matter if she has borderline or not. She could be guilty of all these things. Like I said, a crime is a crime, but it's not a freaking criminal case. I want to find I need to go, but I want to find the muffin moment. Dr. Curry was great. She's like, can I clarify so we can stop talking about the muffins? That was cool. I have a really weird memory that I don't remember sometimes, like people's names or stuff or phone numbers. Well, who remembers phone numbers? But I remember like phrases and sentences. So I saw something like last week in court, and I was just, it got stuck. If it was funny or interesting or both. Johnny was totally low key trolling Roddenborn. He just loved to say the word over and over. Like, how can you have that last name? Just go and change your last name. My God, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to go to the Social Security building and say, hey, I want to change my last name because I'm a lawyer and my name sounds awful. But he might even like it. Born. The way John said it, it's like nobody can say it like that. He was like looking at him. When he said I'm wasting the court, I don't believe I'm wasting anybody's time. That was gold. Because Rottenborg was like, come on, answer me. Dude, this is a case. This is like his life. You can't, and it's the same thing if she takes a stand and she talks, it would not be okay to rush her either. Like, just let it be, let it flow. But I love when Johnny was trying to explain to her lawyer about the serotonin levels and the painkillers and why this and why that. Is my candle still on? Yeah. But that was the moment. That was I can just listen to him for hours. But not everybody can. Oh, today with Romero, Alejandro Romero. I never seen something like that. I never seen. I never, not even in a movie. Never seen a guy giving a deposition while driving, no seatbelt, and this is that downtown LA, dangerous. No seatbelt. He was vaping and driving. And what he said was like so straight up honest. He's like, I am tired of this. I want this to end. This case is stressing me out. It was kind of similar of what Isaac Baruch, that's his name, Baruch, said the first week. Like, this is stressing me out. I want her to heal. I want him to heal. Well, going back to the borderline, they don't know. They don't know how to heal. There's an audio that actually Johnny says that to her. He's like, you just don't know how to heal. Like they don't know how to self-soothe. You know, like we, for example, like we do that. You know, you get on YouTube, you just, you know, you watch like, whatever. Like there's things that we can do, self-soothing. I don't think Ember has problems doing that. I love the audio that he goes like, you don't know how to heal. So I do think that there's something there. I do think there's something happened to her. Not with him, but and it's the same with Evan. I do think there's something there. Maybe like I don't know, 30% of the documentary is real. I think her childhood, I mean, you know, California, I mean, you gotta think that she's from North Carolina and she just moved here when she's 11 or something like that, which is a crucial time for a human, but for a girl, it's to work in movies because her mom wanted to. So whose fault is it? You know, like I do think that her parents are. If anybody's a narcissist, it might just be her mom. I'm just saying. The way that her mom was talking about Manson, Evan Richard's mom, she was like, he destroyed everything. It wasn't Evan saying that, it was the mom. She was saying, he destroyed everything. My marriage was bad, I lost my job. He destroyed everything. That's a very narcissistic thing to say. It's like, dude, if you fail in your marriage or you fail your job, whatever, you're gonna find a scapegoat. And Manson has always been a scapegoat since the 90s. You do? That's so cute. What do you listen to? You listen to it and you meditate, or you just listen to it? I have insomnia. I have to take pills to go to sleep. So that's what I know it is anxiety. Insomnia is just a type of anxiety. I don't know what people don't call it for what it is. So when I listen to stuff, I usually listen to like thunder and, you know, water. It cannot be like birds. Birds would drive me freaking crazy. I don't like birds. It cannot be anything like that. Or words, because if I hear somebody talking, I will be like, ooh, it's interesting. And I will like tune in. So water, sounds, thunder, and rain, because I don't get that enough here. So rain to me is like, yeah, I listen to that a lot. I try to listen to a guy who is doing like hypnosis. Yeah, me too. But what happens when you get a freaking ad in the middle of the meditation and you're like, choosh. Well, I got a premium right now, YouTube premium, whatever, but I didn't have it like a few months ago. And I was doing one of those things like a hypnosis video, whatever, that had elements of water and thunder and rain and then drop, whatever. water dropping, and then all of a sudden a freaking ad pops, and I'm like, then I was not going back to sleep for the night. Yeah. You're in Texas. You guys get thunderstorms, right? Are you in Texas? I'm just darker. That's just my memory. I remember everything that people say. I was telling Alejandro Romero today. I was like, dude, you're in the Columbia building. It's not that far from where I live. It kind of is, but it's not far from where I work. I was today with that window. That's where I work. And I was like, man, I'm going to go to the Columbia building and I'm going to hang out with Alejandro Romero. We're going to have a beer. Even if I don't drink, I'm going to pretend. Yeah. Alejandro Romero was so funny. Vaping and driving. He was just that's the picture of the South California, LA person. Like you will think it's glamorous or the hipsters are what define us the most. No, it's not. It's somebody like Alejandro Romero. That's like the guy that you want to like meet up with and hang out with. Like, seriously. At the taco truck. I'm gonna go hang out with him. I can't believe I always been so close to the Columbia building. I'm seen it a few times and I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think it was a luxury place. I thought it was like an old hotel or something because it looked kind of shitty on the outside. But sometimes these places look shitty. Oh no, you get those? Oh no, those are not fun. I never lived through one of those. We get earthquakes, but I don't feel them. But the hurricane is like an earthquake mixed with water, and it lingers, right? Like it stays after, and all your stuff is wet and stuff. When was the last time that you got a hurricane? Like that it was last year, or that happened in Louisiana, in New Orleans. How come you live close to the ocean? In Texas? I'm sorry, I'm so ignorant. I'm trying to imagine. Oh, there is water. I'm like, ooh, that is cool. You know where I never been and I want to go, but I want to take the train over there. I never been to Chicago. I never been to the Midwest. How lame is that? West Coast, East Coast. That's all I did. I never. I would love to go to Chicago. I know it's dangerous and all that, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure if you know where to go, it's not that bad. You and I are still talking, and we're the only ones talking here. You know that, right? Are you aware? Let me see if I can find the.
Documents as part of my evaluation.
Hold
That
on.
included all of the case documents.
I need to find the
Mr.'s,
muffins.
1-hour break and another half-hour breaks distributed from
You drove through it last year. Through where? Chicago?
person.
Did I scare everybody? I do these long lives because it's just fun.
Yes.
If I make like little videos, I can't make little videos. I need a pill from Johnny Depp to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to find the muffin. So you can chat while I try to find the muffin. The muffin moment. Elaine. Elaine is like, when you have a dog, I mean, I have cats, but like I was saying, it's like, how some people say like, oh, that dog looks like the owner. I feel like Elaine and Amber are looking alike. It's really weird. I felt that's what's happening. Look, Lily, what's the deal? She talks. I know. When I got her, the lady said, "Oh, hurricane? Oh, fuck no." Can you believe this person told me not to say the F word? I handled that with class, right? I was like, well, it's all about the context. But what are we in the 1940s? I can't say words because I'm a woman. That's how people think sometimes. Like if a guy says the F word and drop, whatever, it's like fine. But then if a chick does it and if a pretty person does it, it's like, ooh, she's dirty. How you think I handle it? But it was weird when I saw it. I was like, well, is that a joke? Are you really telling me how to speak? Me? You telling me how to speak? You got some nerve. I don't know who it was. I really don't know. Lily, what do you want? What's your vibe? She's very needy. Lily is the cutest. And when the lady gave her to me, she said she talks a lot. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I really didn't believe her when she was a kitten. She was talking a lot. I was like, oh, it's just a face. It's gonna go away. No, she talks. Lily, right? Just did you hear that? Do you talk a lot? You want to talk? You're so cute. I have my pink and like red. Oh yeah, today earlier I got in here like live. I knew nobody was gonna watch it because everybody was watching the trial. Because my friend Brianna, she texted me and she was like, "Tune in. This Alejandro Romero guy is a badass." Yeah, I don't let my kids curse. You know what I do when they curse? I have a jar. This is very old fashioned, I know, but I don't curse around them. I don't. Like sometimes if we're watching a movie and there's, a few F words, whatever, but I don't want it to be a habit. You know what I mean? Like if they do it, they do it. I'm not gonna, but I don't want it to be a habit. But this person said that to me. Oh, I can rewatch this and listen exactly to what I said, right? I don't fucking remember what I said to that person. Look at Lily's tail. She wants to be. Lily, you have a personality disorder of cuteness. You have a disorder called cuteness disorder. That person told me not to say. That's what I wouldn't be able to handle, being famous, because I would be like Sean Penn, or I would just have a shotgun and just like shoot people. Like I would not be able to handle shit like that. So tell me what's going on with Tug. I guess I can go to his channel and listen to him. You curse like Johnny Depp. But see, that is a good way of doing it. It's all about the context. Like if I'm telling somebody you're a bitch, but I can say about myself that I'm a bitch, then it's all right though. You know what I mean? You know when it's combative and when it's for war, then it's in a term of endearment, at least here and over there too. But I guess it depends where you are though. I was saying the F word too much, and I'm a lady. I don't supposed to. It's a double standard. Hmm. Not here, but I can see like some places in Europe and stuff. Like they don't. It's okay. I don't think it's a good habit, but I don't think that I should get hammered for it when I'm talking here, and I don't get bay. I'm just doing this because I feel like doing it. Don't tell me how to talk. That was funny. Let me find the muffins before I go.
Version 5. And that
This is Dr. Curry talking about the thing.
Somebody new, but
For 40 minutes, she talked about the disorder. I want to get to the muffins and then we'll go.
Areas that are visible in almost all different disorders to be considered.
I don't have it.
Source is psychological.
Come on, Elaine.
As very specifically looks at, or if somebody shows up.
I don't know if I have it though. Let me see. Okay, Lily, if I bother you, then you just move that way. Look at her. Look at her. Look at this. She's trying to do my homework. What are you trying to do? She has histrionic disorder. I cat that. She does. That's what I'm saying. If it's something that you're used to it, then don't fight it. But that person telling me that I don't supposed to, it was weird. Like he or she was like, "You're intelligent." I'm not even want to hear that. I don't think I am. I don't care. I don't think I am actually. But they were like, "You intelligent, so you I don't know. I think I handled it well. What you think? I'm not gonna sit here and fight. It's too late. I'm too old. Like John is in one of the audios. He's like, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for arguing. Go get somebody your age. That's a good audio. I, when he said that to her, it's like, ooh, you got it right on the spot. I do believe that Amber. The problem with that, with the borderline and any disorder, like the thing, the onset of that one is teenager to like 30 years old, so he met her in the freaking middle of it, hardcore. If he met her when Amber was in her 40s, for example, even 35, it maybe would have, I don't know, different story. I'm telling you, it's the onset, like he, like really, he met her in the middle of her gigantic episodes. The thing with bipolar, that, and all that is like the episodes can be, a few hours or a couple of days. With the personality disorder, it's a constant, it's a constant episode. Okay, this is her fighting. I don't feel like listening to her fighting. Lily's scratching me. I'll stop it. She doesn't know what to do for attention. Lily, knock it off. Lily, if she were able to curse, she would curse me now. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That's aggression. Okay? Knock it off. Stop it. There's no discipline for cats. Cats don't even care. So you tell them to not do something, they're like, really? Yeah, I'm a cat person. I'm not. I don't hate dogs, but I just don't. I don't know that. I don't. Their energy. I don't know what's up with me and dogs. They don't like me. I don't know. Okay, I want to find the muffins. Where's the muffins? Muffin gate. It went from me poop and the poop gate to, oh, this is about the monster. Are you gonna be around tomorrow night? Oh, I'm working. No, I'm working at midnight. Well, when I come back, then we can chat, and I can just make this a little bit more not so all over the place. But I guess my first hour was not so bad, right? I was trying to make sense. You know what I hate about these live things?
I recall Dr.
Is that you can't, I think I found it, is that you can't, like you can't cut it, like you can edit and just get rid of like the last hour or something. You can, and I just stay the way it is. And I don't like that because I'm just, anyway, but it is what it is. I don't think it's serious at all. Oh my God, it's so, I can't even hear it. I gotta put the Bluetooth. I don't know where it is. Anyway. Oh, this is a lane. All right, I found a lane.
That's not speculation. I'll sustain the objection, Your Honor.
Elaine told the judge. That's not speculation. Did you hear that? When she told the judge that the judge was incorrect. Like, dude, you gotta just bite your tongue. You can't do that. You can't tell a judge. There's a judge for a reason. She was like, that's not speculation. This is bias. It's bias.
Come to my office.
Okay, hold
Question
on.
was, have you ever been asked to testify or serve as an expert with respect to whether
Coming. I'm not gonna listen to the whole damn thing.
was it? No, as I said, I had not formed any opinions at that time. I had just been retained. And in fact, you have never arrived at this opinion as an expert witness.
Okay, the opinion problem. That is a problem right there. That's what I was saying earlier. The whole thing about diagnosing somebody in court like that. I mean, it's interesting, and it's actually good that they did that. because Amber has to sit there and take it. She can't talk back. But at the same time, it can be tricky. It can be tricky. I don't know.
Witness in this case. And your answer was, could you read that to the jury, please? Yes. So no, it's not the task.
Okay, she's being technical.
Have you? No. And you justified that it was okay in this case because it was a high-profile case. That's not quite right. I justified it in this case.
I love that to correct. She's like, that's not quite right. It's not, you're wrong. That's not quite right. It's such a smart way to say the same thing.
Actually, I sought consultation about it. First of all, the person who had retained his attorneys was unable to come to my office with his attorneys. And yes, this is a very visible case. It's been going on a very long time. And I understood that there would be a need to interview me and make an informed decision about my qualifications.
It's not coming. Crap.
Can you look at page 240, please?
You got it wrong. This thing is too long. It's hard with this. This case is like, man.
Line 3 is my question. Would you agree it's highly irregular to meet with the subject in a litigation? And your answer on that occasion was, I would not say it's highly irregular. I would say it's not something that I would typically do. However, I had not yet been retained on the case. This was a large, high-profile case. And I understood.
This is what I don't understand about. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why lawyers do that. Will you agree that You have to be super careful. That's what I like that Johnny, he takes his time. Because it's so easy to just trap yourself in saying yes or no. I don't like about Elaine and the other lawyer is they do this 2 questions in 1 question thing. Will you agree that I have red hair, right? It's confusing. I mean, it's like even if you're a smart person, it's confusing. Will you agree right? Will you not disagree? You wouldn't disagree, right? Oh, I hate that. They do it a lot. Elaine does it a lot.
For a person retaining me with such a high profile.
I need to find this and then I go.
Vet me essentially with the attorneys present prior to retaining me on his case. Do you recall that? Yes. That's what you said under oath, correct? Yes. And then I said, have you ever done that before? You said no. Correct. And then I said, have you ever done it since? And you said,
she sounds like a cop. Like Elaine
correct.
Sounds like a police officer, but like a bad one. She's so violent.
Would you agree that if you did not find something that would be in favor of Mr. Depp and negative to Ms. Heard, that you wouldn't be an expert in this case? Essentially, into court if you're going to say that Ms. Heard is right and Mr. Depp is wrong, correct? So, as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court, is to the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be. Now, when I take a case, my retainer agreement is explicit about that, and I discuss that with the attorneys. I'm asking you a question. I'd like you to try to answer that question. You understand that if you found favorably Ms. Heard.
That is not a bully. What is a bully? That's a bully. Like I said, it's not illegal to be a bully in court, but that is a weird way to get things out of somebody. I ask you a question. Like her tone, it is like she talks to people like they're like in preschool, like a bad kindergarten teacher. I ask you a question.
Negatively to Mr. Depp, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be testifying.
I can't take it. I need to get the muffins. I don't know where to sleep.
Objection, speculation. That's not speculation. I'll sustain the objection. Okay.
He told the judge what it wasn't. That's not what you're saying it is. I never heard that before. Been in court a few times. I never heard that before. I never heard a lawyer telling the judge.
You were, in fact, so excited about being involved in this case that you told your husband, even though this was a highly confidential matter, that you were going to be conducting the examination.
The muffins are coming.
That is not accurate. You not only told your husband, but you told Ms. Heard that you told her husband. right? Ms. Bredenoff, that is not accurate. What is accurate? You're incorrect. That is not correct.
I love that. You're incorrect. It's not correct. I love that. I love that. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it, but it's like kind of, it's from my computer and it's my Chromebook. It sucks. You're incorrect. It's not correct.
Is your testimony today under oath that you did not tell your husband that you were going to be conducting the examination of Amber? That is my testimony.
Muffin time.
Let's go to page 306.
Let's go. I'm hungry. Muffin or no muffin? Girl, come on, I gotta go to bed. She has such a Karen energy. I think we need to stop using the name Karen.
So the question that was
start
asked
using the name
was,
Elaine.
because you brought muffins, you said from your husband, right? You gave those to Ms. Heard, correct? May I clarify what occurred so that we can stop talking about the muffins? What happened was that I was getting ready that morning. I frequently bring muffins to the office. My husband did happen to know that there was going to be a celebrity client coming in because on the mornings that occurs, which often occurs, we have to actually clear the office and move the staff to the other office. So yes, on the one hand, he was aware of that. I was getting ready. I asked him to go to the bakery near our house and pick up the muffins for me because I was running late. He often has to do that because I often do run late. He brought the muffins back to the house. I brought them into the office. Miss Heard and I enjoyed the muffins together. I think I made a comment to her along the lines like, we can thank my husband. My husband got these for us today, meaning he purchased the muffins. We are now enjoying them because of him.
Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? We enjoyed the muffins together. So Amber told Elaine, oh, well, go tell this doctor that she told me the husband brought the muffins. Like, who told Elaine the husband brought the muffins? It's so stupid. I mean, I see what she was going with. Like, she was trying to go with this whole, like, well, y'all friends, you hang out, got drinks, got muffins. But no, I mean, it's really normal for somebody to go get something because they didn't have time to eat because they are a person who usually is late, like me. And like her. That's funny. That was funny. All right, I gotta go to bed. We did. See, the problem is that I can't really cut this because for like an hour and 20 minutes or something, I talk serious talk about the borderline and the histrionics and all that. And now I am just going to muffins and amica cream because I'm so sleepy. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's only 11, but all right. Thanks for hanging out. Really, it was really fun. And if you just got here, just like watch it because it was fun. Especially with that person told me not to say the F word. I'm gonna start saying you're incorrect. It's not correct. It's great. I like this the phrases, the sentence that come out of this trial are gold. Like I bet you money that next Johnny Depp movie he's gonna play a lawyer. That'll be cool. He's learning a lot. That's how you learn the law. Not going to school, you learn like that. There was a little audio, a little video that he was like, I'm learning. It was so cute. All right. So there's no way I can cut this, right? And I have like a piece of pie because I'm just like been joking around for so long. Okay, so what I did when I got here, I talk about the borderline personality disorders and why not, and more of that, and what I think about it, what I think about what happened in court yesterday. And it got serious and it got dark. And then I started joking around, and then we started joking around about Alejandro Romero and about the muffins and about Elaine. What is her deal with asking about people's, like, she was asking Alejandro Romero today. She was like, "So, do you know what Mrs. Her was wearing?" It just sounds pervy. I don't know if it's just me. Like I'm telling you, when somebody says like, "Oh, your dog looks like you," like a person that starts looking like the dog starts looking like a person, like the person, like the owner. I feel like that with Elaine and Amber. They're just weird. Like they're both wearing beige blazers and khaki stuff. I don't know. I understand you have to dress up for court. You have to. You can't you can't be sloppy. You can't. But like Amber is taking it to a level. The glasses that she wore yesterday, the Jeffrey Dahmer style. I usually don't make fun of people's looks. I don't. That's not. All the people do that on YouTube. But it was too much even for me. Like I have to say that was Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. There was a moment though. Did you watch? I know you saying you were watching it in pieces and chunks and pieces because you were busy, but did you watch the moment of which Johnny made Amber crack? She did this. She wanted to laugh. It was when Rottenborn said to Johnny, "Well, will you agree that you are bigger than Mrs. Heard? Like bigger, physically bigger?" And Johnny was like, "Not necessarily." And Amber did this, and I promise you that it was the moment of like they're both. That was a good joke. I mean, it's like you're low key calling her fat by saying no, I'm not bigger than her. He's not though. I mean, he's like my I don't know. He's like 5'7" or something. I don't know. He's small. The whole thing about him being bigger than her and all that is so much bullshit. Okay, I gotta go. But it was fun. I had to get to the muffins.
Did you say on pages 305 and 306 that you frequently have examinations of high-profile clients? You want to just take
Also, the whole thing that Elaine was like bitching about it, is also very normal here. It's not that strange. Elaine was trying to make a big deal. People go to people's houses when somebody is disabled or when somebody is detoxing, when somebody is too big. You go into people's houses to be interviewed for a job is not so rare. But of course, Elaine is gonna make it sound like it's something dirty, like she does with everything. Like, "Oh, you went to his house and you were having drinks." And I love the doctor's reply was like, "Well, there was dinner and drinks were served." I'm repeating everything. I'm like a parrot. I see something, I watch something, and then I just have it in my head, and I'm just sit here and repeat it. But if you wanna listen to more interesting stuff, the first hour was very serious. But I gotta go to bed now. What do you think? Who you think is gonna be there tomorrow? We got the LAPD. We got 3 cops today. That was great. I know it's kind of boring and tedious to listen to a police officer, but at the same time, I'm so proud of them for telling the truth and for not going into this like, "Oh, it's Johnny Depp," and we're like they were straight up honest. So there was 3 cops. There was the lady from the island, right? 4 people. Then Alejandro Romero, superstar, and then his manager. Did you watch? Did you see like to wait to the end? Johnny's manager and friend. That guy was pissed off. I mean, like it wasn't like in a way he wasn't. He was just like this, like his body language. Did you watch it? Like it was a video, the position and his body language. He was like this. I told you no. Like it was just really I mean, if you want to get something from somebody, you can't be harassing like that. That style, I'm seeing that in court. It's a style, but it's not. It doesn't surprise me though that somebody like her is gonna have lawyers like that. But I don't think it's working very good. Okay, I'm gonna go. I hate to go, but I gotta go to bed. I'm not gonna go to bed, but kind of wind down, listen to my own meditation tapes, which it could be listen to Marilyn Manson talk or Johnny. um, yeah, this is I don't like the I didn't like that they play the really private audio of him that I'm not gonna play in here. I play everything else, but not that one. The one that was very upsetting to him. But this week kind of turn, and it's just really going his way since the moment since Monday was great when he was like, I don't know that a man, I am a victim of domestic violence, and that was like mic dropped. That's it. After that, I don't know what else he can say. Was that my ass would just everybody go home. People say lock her up. She's not gonna go to jail. Stop saying lock her up. You look stupid. She's not going to jail. She might have like it could be worse. It's actually this is worse than jail. Like being canceled and being called Amber Turd all over. Like I'd rather like oh my god, I'd rather go to jail. I don't know. It's just really like public humiliation is one of her. It's probably her biggest fear because what they're talking about yesterday about her disorders and stuff, like just the fact that she's so worried about how people perceive her, then something like this is actually hurting her more than going to prison or doing community service. She'll do it. She'll do it, and she'll do it with a smile because she's fake like that. But how I mean, I'm not thinking anything of her now that I didn't think a year ago. You know, I have the same opinion. Just because they say right now that she has borderline, it didn't really change what I think about her being a criminal. Domestic violence is criminal. So even it was just pots and pans, like it was a cigarette. It wasn't like a pack of cigarettes. It was just one cigarette on your cheek. But just like the way that she, and that's something that also the borderlines do. They're gonna minimize what they do, and they're gonna extremize what you do. It's gonna be like, okay, if Johnny Depp, if he got a glass of whiskey, it's a big deal. But she was the one giving him the whiskey and the thing, and then she was drinking the whiskey. Not the whiskey, the wine. I found at least 7 or 8 or 9 pictures on her Instagram that she's posting with wine. I don't think wine is bad. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but like if they're basing a lot of the case on his addiction and blah blah blah, which is real. Um, um, she should just be given a different type of example. But I guess you have a past. You have a past. Okay, I gotta go. I already played the muffins. Good night. Guess I'm beauty sleep. She's burying the witnesses. Yeah. Yeah. But that's a style, like I'm saying. Some people are going like, can you kick them out? No, you can't. You are a lawyer. It's like a therapist. You can be a bully, and you can be a nice one. You can be more person. I mean, like there's really, it's not what they're doing. It's messed up. I don't like listening to her. I don't like looking to her face, Elaine, or Roddenborn. But really, it's not. They're not doing anything that the court can say, hey, we mistrial this because you're misbehaving. They're not. They're just being jerks, pretty much. A mistrial will be like, it will suck for Johnny. I think a mistrial will only happen if the jury just, I heard they have only 7 people. I hope they have more, because I think if they have less than 7, they can just postpone it. And everybody on YouTube is gonna go crazy. So I guess I hope Tug is alright tomorrow. I'm gonna go check his channel now after I make some more tea. This is why I don't sleep, because I drink black tea a lot. I get hyper. I need my amica cream. Anyway, bye. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I'll be back tomorrow after work, which is 2 a.m. my time, 2 a.m. West Coast time, whatever time that is, whatever else. I like doing that because by that time I already watched the trial and I already listened to it and I already like talked to people. So then when I get in here, at least I got more to say and I know what was going on instead of just getting here in the afternoon and try to watch it at the same time, and that would be a big mistake. Good night. I will try to get some sleep. My cat, I think she gave up. She totally gave up. She was like getting so much attention. She was like right here. Lily, what? You want to jump? Here. Jump and say bye to the people. Bye to the people. Thank you. Good night.